Ever dreamt of ditching the 9 to 5? You know, like just working in your PJs.
Oh, yeah.
Or diving into a book called Pyjama Profit by Varun Mayya and Aymanov Chikara
Okay.
to see if it's cracked up to be.
Interesting.
This book claims to be the millennial's guide to a sustainable freelance career. But can you really make a living working from home?
Right.
What skills are actually in demand these days?
Yeah.
And how do you find clients without ending up in like a bidding war on some shady platform?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to find out together.
Sounds good.
So these authors aren't just theorists.
Right.
They've walked the walk.
Yeah.
Varun launched several successful startups after starting as a freelancer.
Okay.
And Abhinav has designed for over 60 tech startups globally.
Wow.
So they've distilled their experience into a blueprint for anyone looking to break free from traditional employment.
Makes sense.
The book starts by painting a picture of what they call the pajama economy,
Okay.
where location and traditional jobs are becoming irrelevant. It seems like they're saying the internet has leveled the playing field, giving anyone with an internet connection the chance to compete globally.
Yeah.
Which is pretty empowering, but also a little daunting.
I can see that.
Is it really that simple?
Well, it's not really about simplicity. It's more about access.
Okay.
The internet has given us access to knowledge and markets that were previously out of reach for most people. Like you can learn almost any skill online these days.
That's true.
And you can connect with clients around the world.
Right.
But the authors are very clear.
Okay.
Making it as a freelancer takes more than just internet access.
Yeah.
It takes strategy and a willingness to adapt.
Okay. So let's get strategic.
Sure.
The book talks about finding your freelance superpower.
Yeah.
They break down the most in-demand skills into what they call pajama categories.
I like that.
There's everything from marketing and writing to web development and even game design.
Wow.
I have to admit, I kind of skimmed that part.
Oh, yeah?
It felt like a long list.
I can see how it might feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
But think of it this way.
Okay.
Those categories are like signposts
Okay.
pointing you towards different paths you could take.
Huh?
The key is to choose a path that aligns with your existing skills and interests.
Yeah.
For you, maybe content writing and marketing stand out. You already have a knack for communication.
I guess so.
And you enjoy crafting compelling narratives.
I do like to tell a good story.
Gee.
That's true. Those do sound more appealing than, say, app development,
Yeah,
which is a bit out of my league right now.
totally.
But let's say I choose content writing as my superpower.
Okay.
How do I know it's going to be sustainable in the long run? Like, what if everyone starts offering content writing services
Right.
and the market gets flooded?
That's a smart question.
Thanks.
And it gets to the heart of what the authors call the life cycle of a skill.
Okay.
They argue that every skill goes through different stages, from early adoption to peak popularity, and then eventually commoditization and even automation. Remember when web design was a niche skill that commanded top dollar?
Oh, yeah?
Now there are tons of affordable platforms and services that can do a lot of the heavy lifting.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So how do I avoid becoming the web designer who's suddenly struggling to compete?
By staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
The authors stress the importance of continuous learning and adapting. Don't just master one skill.
Okay.
Be open to expanding your skill set.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on emerging trends.
Right.
And be willing to pivot when necessary.
So it's not enough to be a good writer.
Right.
I need to be a good writer who understands SEO or maybe even like basic graphic design
Exactly.
to add more value and differentiate myself.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But where do I even find clients?
Yeah.
Do I just hang out on Upwork and hope for the best?
Well, the book dedicates a whole section to what they call the platform game.
Yeah, okay.
They share their own experiences on platforms like Upwork, offering tips for creating a compelling profile,
Oh, okay.
writing bids that stand out,
Right.
setting realistic rates,
Okay.
and building a strong reputation through positive reviews.
It sounds like playing the platform game requires a specific strategy,
Yes,
not just blind luck.
exactly.
But I also get the sense from the book that relying solely on platforms might not be the best long-term approach.
You're picking up on a key point.
Okay, good.
While platforms can be a good starting point,
Yeah.
the authors advocate for building your own brand and establishing your own client base.
Okay.
It's about shifting from being a passive job seeker
Right.
to becoming a proactive business owner.
That sounds empowering, but also a little scary.
I get it.
What does it even mean to, like, build a brand as a freelancer?
It's about becoming known for something specific,
Okay.
for offering a unique value proposition that clients can't find anywhere else.
Right.
They break down the process of creating content, the
Yeah.
what, the where, and the how. Basically, it's figuring out what valuable information you can share,
Okay.
where your target audience hangs out online,
Yeah.
and how to get that information in front of them.
So it's not just about being a good writer.
Right.
It's about being a thought leader.
Exactly.
Someone who shares insights, teaches others, and builds a reputation as an expert in their field.
Exactly.
That sounds challenging, but also really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
And the authors believe that building a strong personal brand is essential for attracting high-quality clients,
Okay.
commanding premium rates, and ultimately creating a sustainable and fulfilling freelance career.
Right.
But it's not all about hustling and grinding.
Okay, good.
They also emphasize the importance of cultivating a healthy freelancer mindset,
Okay.
which is what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to get this whole pajama economy thing. It's not just about wearing PJs while you work, right?
Right.
It's about taking control of your career and crafting a lifestyle that aligns with your values.
Exactly.
But it's also clear that freelancing takes a certain mindset.
Yeah,
It's not for the faint of heart.
definitely not.
The authors dedicate a good chunk of the book to the freelancer mindset.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the most valuable parts,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for someone like me who's considering this shift.
Right.
They talk about self-motivation, discipline,
Right.
the ability to handle rejection, all things that don't come naturally to everyone.
It's true.
I can see that like in a traditional job.
Yeah.
There's a structure, a boss, colleagues to bounce ideas off of.
Right.
As a freelancer, you're kind of out there on your own,
Yeah.
which can be liberating but also isolating.
They address that head on.
Oh, really?
They actually recommend creating a structured work environment,
Okay.
even if you're working from your kitchen table.
Right.
Setting boundaries, having dedicated work hours,
Right.
and communicating those to clients and family.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about respecting your own time.
And creating a space where you can focus.
That makes sense, but let's be honest. The structure isn't the only thing that can be challenging.
True.
There's also the financial aspect.
Oh, yeah.
No more steady paychecks, no company-sponsored health insurance.
Right.
That's got to be stressful.
Absolutely. The financial management is a big part of the freelancer mindset.
Yeah.
And it's something the authors don't shy away from.
Good.
They advocate for building a financial safety net.
Okay.
Health insurance savings, a plan for taxes.
Right.
It sounds daunting, I know,
Yeah.
but they break it down into manageable steps.
One of the things that stood out to me was their advice on handling income.
Oh, yeah.
They suggest splitting it into different categories:
Okay.
savings expenses, a splurge fund, and even an experiment and learning fund.
I like that.
I like that it acknowledges that you need to invest in yourself and your business,
Yeah.
not just pay the bills.
It's a smart approach.
Yeah.
They're basically encouraging freelancers to think like entrepreneurs,
Right.
to treat their skills as assets and their time as an investment.
But a business needs clients.
For sure.
And we've talked about platforms like Upwork.
Yeah.
What about finding clients on your own?
Right.
That feels like a whole other level.
It is. It's one thing to write a bid on a platform.
Yeah,
It's another to convince someone you've never met to hire you.
totally.
Yeah.
I remember reading a section on cold emailing and cringing a little.
Oh, yeah.
It just sounded so awkward.
I get it. But the authors make a compelling case for it.
Really?
They argue that done right, cold emailing can be more effective than platforms, especially for building long-term relationships.
Right.
They offer a step-by-step guide,
Mm-hmm.
even a sample email template.
Interesting.
It's about researching potential clients,
Right.
finding common ground,
Okay.
and offering value up front,
Yeah.
not just blasting out a generic sales pitch.
So it's more about building a connection
Exactly.
than just begging for work.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they emphasize that the key is to be persistent.
Uh-huh.
Consistent and to track your results.
So like a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, but it's a game you can win with the right approach.
That takes confidence, though.
Yeah.
Believing in yourself and your skills enough to reach out to someone.
Well, and that ties into the whole freelancer mindset.
Right.
You have to value your expertise,
Mm-hmm.
know your worth, and be able to communicate that effectively.
It's scary, but I see what you mean.
They talk about negotiating rates, setting boundaries with clients,
Yeah.
even saying no to projects that aren't a good fit.
It's tough.
It's about taking ownership of your career.
That makes sense, but it also highlights another challenge,
Okay.
the potential for isolation.
Oh, right.
You mentioned building a network earlier.
Yeah.
How important is that for freelancers?
They dedicate a whole chapter to it.
Wow.
So clearly they think it's crucial.
Okay.
It's about building relationships with other freelancers, attending industry events, even just having virtual coffee chats. Right.
It's about sharing experiences, learning from each other.
Okay.
And creating a support system that you might not have in a traditional job.
It's almost like building your own virtual office.
Yes.
Colleagues, mentors, a sounding board for ideas.
Exactly.
That's actually really encouraging. It makes freelancing feel less lonely and more like a community.
That's exactly what they're advocating for.
I like that.
A community of support, collaboration, and mutual learning. But they also stress that community doesn't replace the need for continuous self-improvement.
Right. The life cycle of a skill.
Exactly. They recommend setting aside dedicated time for learning, taking courses, experimenting with new tools.
So like your own personal R&D department?
Exactly. Investing in yourself and your skills is key.
Yeah.
But it's also about being adaptable.
Right.
Open to new ideas and willing to embrace the inevitable changes that come with freelancing.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, we're building a network, we're constantly learning.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like I could actually do this.
Build a sustainable career on my own terms.
I believe in you.
But I'm also realizing it's not just about practical skills.
Right.
It's about a whole shift in perspective.
You're getting it.
Yeah.
The authors even challenge the traditional definition of success.
Really?
They argue that stable jobs, home ownership, those old markers of achievement might not be relevant anymore.
Interesting.
It's about creating a life that reflects your values.
Yeah.
Finding meaning in your work.
Okay.
And having the freedom to pursue your passions.
That's a big idea, and it's honestly a little scary,
I get it.
but also exciting.
It is?
It's like they're giving permission to redefine success on my own terms.
Exactly.
And that's where I think we need to dive deeper.
Okay.
What does it really mean to build a personal brand?
Right.
Manage finances and navigate this new world of work.
Those are the exact questions we'll tackle in the final part of our deep dive. We'll unpack the strategies, the challenges, and the rewards of creating a truly fulfilling freelance career in the pajama economy.
Sounds good. So we've talked about skills and mindset and even cold emailing. Now let's get to the heart of what it means to build a truly sustainable and fulfilling freelance career in this pajama economy.
That's where the concept of like personal branding comes in.
Okay.
The authors emphasize that it's not just about having a website or a logo.
Right.
It's about defining your unique value proposition. What makes you stand out in a sea of freelancers?
So it's about more than just listing my skills on a profile.
Much more.
Okay.
It's about identifying your ideal clients.
Okay.
Understanding their needs,
Right.
and crafting a message that resonates with them on like a deeper level. It's about becoming known for something specific, something that sets you apart.
Earlier, we talked about me potentially focusing on content writing and marketing.
Right.
How would I even begin to build a personal brand around that?
Think about what makes your approach to content unique.
Okay.
Do you have a specific industry focus? Are you particularly skilled at storytelling or crafting like compelling calls to action?
That's an interesting way to put it.
Once you identify your strengths,
Okay.
you can build your brand around those.
So it's about becoming a thought leader.
Exactly.
Sharing my insights maybe through blog posts or articles and positioning myself as an expert in my niche.
Exactly. And the book offers some practical tips for doing just that.
Oh, yeah.
Creating a website that showcases your expertise.
Okay.
Writing guest posts for relevant blogs.
Right.
Even speaking at industry events.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's about putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And demonstrating your value to the world.
But building a brand takes time and effort, right?
It does.
Especially while you're also trying to find clients and manage projects.
It does require consistency and dedication.
Okay.
But the authors argue that a strong personal brand is essential for attracting high-quality clients, commanding premium rates,
Okay.
and ultimately building a sustainable career that you're passionate about.
Okay, so let's say I'm starting to get a handle on personal branding.
Okay.
What about the financial side of things?
Yep.
I'll admit that's one of my biggest anxieties about freelancing.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
No more steady paycheck. No more employer-sponsored health insurance.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But the authors offer some reassuring advice on managing finances as a freelancer.
Oh, good.
It starts with the basics.
Okay.
Creating a budget,
Yeah.
tracking your income and expenses,
Mm-hmm.
and setting aside money for taxes.
Right.
They even recommend setting up separate bank accounts for your business and personal finances.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Earlier, you mentioned their suggestion to split income into different categories, including a splurge fund and an experiment and learning fund.
Yeah.
Those really resonated with me.
They did with me as well.
It reframes the way you think about money. It's not just about paying bills. It's about investing in your business, your skills, and your future.
Right.
But let's be real, investing is great when you have money to invest.
Yeah.
What about those lean months that every freelancer inevitably faces?
That's where the financial safety net comes in.
Okay.
The authors stress the importance of building an emergency fund.
Right.
Ideally, 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
Yeah.
To cushion the blow of those inevitable dry spells.
That makes a lot of sense. It takes some of the pressure off.
It does.
And allows you to focus on building your business without constantly worrying about making rent.
Exactly. And they also talk about long-term financial planning.
Oh, really?
Retirement accounts, investing in index funds.
Wow.
Even exploring real estate.
Interesting.
They really encourage freelancers to think like entrepreneurs, building a secure financial future for themselves.
It's reassuring to know that freelancing doesn't have to mean living in a constant state of financial anxiety. But even with a solid financial plan, I imagine the emotional roller coaster of freelancing can be tough.
You're right. It's not all sunshine and pajamas.
Right.
The authors acknowledge the psychological challenges of working independently.
Okay.
The isolation, the self-doubt, the pressure to constantly hustle.
There were parts of the book that really resonated with me on that front.
Oh, yeah.
The need to create a structured work environment, set boundaries,
Yes.
and prioritize self-care to avoid burnout.
Those are all key elements of the freelancer mindset we talked about earlier. It's about building healthy habits, managing your energy, and creating a sustainable work-life balance.
They also talk about the importance of building a supportive network,
Right.
connecting with other freelancers, finding mentors, and surrounding yourself with people who understand the unique challenges of this lifestyle.
Exactly. Community is so important, especially when you're working independently. It's about sharing experiences, getting advice, and knowing that you're not alone in this journey.
And it's about celebrating those wins no matter how small.
Yes.
Landing a new client, finishing a challenging project, even just making it through a tough week.
You're hitting on one of the key takeaways of the book.
Oh, really?
It's about redefining success on your own terms.
Okay.
It's not about climbing a corporate ladder
Right.
or chasing external validation.
I see.
It's about finding meaning in your work,
Yeah.
having the flexibility to design your own lifestyle, and pursuing your passions without compromise.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
I agree.
It's given me a lot to think about, both practically and philosophically.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
This book isn't just a guide to freelancing.
Right.
It's a challenge to rethink the way we work and live. It's about embracing a new definition of success, one that prioritizes freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway that you hope our listener walks away with?
I think it's this.
Okay.
You have the power to create the career and life you want. The pajama economy offers unprecedented opportunities for those who are willing to embrace the challenge, to step outside their comfort zones, and to build a future that aligns with their values and aspirations.
It's about taking ownership of your destiny, even if it means wearing pajamas while you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling that entrepreneurial itch, if you're craving more freedom and flexibility, don't be afraid to take that first step.
Okay.
Explore your options, build your skills, connect with others, and start creating the freelance career of your dreams.
And remember, we're here to support you every step of the way.
We are.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the pajama economy.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep chasing those dreams.